Hey everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to the Keystone Crew Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing Pick Show. We're here to give you advice on who to pick for your Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing lineup, Falcon Rods Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge lineups, and your TH Marine Bassmaster Pick'em Challenge scenarios for Event 4 of Fantasy Fishing and the third stop of the Bassmaster Elite Series season, the Tennessee Tombigbee Waterway in Columbus, Mississippi from March 26th through the 29th, 2026. We'll also take a look at how our picks fared at the last event, the Tennessee River, the Bassmaster Classic, and check in on our leaderboards. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're already playing fantasy fishing, are part of our group, and are hopefully a subscriber. But if you're not signed up for fantasy fishing yet and want to check it out, head on over to bassmasterfantasy.com and sign up. It's completely free, and you'll be eligible for prizes from Bassmaster and their sponsors for each tournament. After signing up, search in the Groups tab for Keystone Crew and join our group. You may even win a Tackle Warehouse gift card from us. Remember, you can watch these tournaments every Saturday and Sunday on Fox Sports 1, and you can watch the first 2 days of the tournaments on the Roku channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you for your continued support of the channel. This year I have to question your judgment if you're still taking our advice because it's been our worst year picking in the channel's 4-year existence. I'm not really sure what's going on with us, but thank you for your loyalty to the channel just the same. We'd appreciate a like or comment. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Really appreciate that. Before we jump into the picks for the Tenn-Tom, let's see how we did the last event at the Tennessee River. If you had a perfect roster, this is what it looked like. Dylan Nutt took the win from Bucket D. The best finisher from Bucket A was Trey McKinney, finishing second. The tie-breaking weight was 66 pounds, 13 ounces, and we said 54.7. Here's a quick look at Bucket A. Bucket A, our top-ranked angler, Trey McKinney, finished second. We also had Easton Fothergill finish fourth. Hopefully you win with one of them. In Bucket B, our top-ranked angler, Brian Schmidt, finished last in 58th place, and our best pick finished 30th in this bucket. Not great, so hopefully you went with Cox if you used any of these rankings. In Bucket C, our top-ranked angler in the power rankings, Wes Logan, finished 56th, and the best finish here was our third-ranked angler, Justin Atkins, with the 6th place. So hopefully you went with him. In Bucket D, our top-ranked angler finished 13th, and our second-ranked angler, Dylan Nutt, finished first. Bucket E, our best finish here was our 4th-ranked angler, Yui Aoki, with a 3rd-place finish, and our top-ranked angler finishes 55th in that bucket. If you went with the top-ranked anglers from the power rankings, this is how you finished. You did have a 2nd-place finish, but buckets B, C, and E absolutely crushed us, all finishing in the 50s. Here's how my picks did for my account. My highest finishers were Jay Shakurit with a 15th place and Fisher Anaya with a 13th. And our Drain the Lake picks finished like this. We had a 1st, a 2nd, and a 4th place finish. But Brian Schmidt didn't help us much with his last place finish. And here's how we did in the Pick'em Challenge. Our meter isn't too bad, sitting at 87.3%, up a full percentage point from last week. Here's a look at our overall leaderboard for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing through the first 3 events. We've got Danny 713, Dan Tartaro in first, Hunter 2222, M Hawthorne in second, Hanath 15801, D Hanath in third, the Okie Angler C Jackson in fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Shugs WV W Keckley in fifth. Since I'm not using all of the top picks, I can't tell you what your percentage would be like if you use them, but I'm sitting at a terrible 54.1% with my picks. Our top-ranked player for the Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing for the third event at the Tennessee River was B. Gully. B. Gully with the score of 1,394. We've been in touch through email, and I've already sent you your prize. Through 3 events for Falcon Rod's Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge. Here's what our overall leaderboard looks like. We've got Bearhound N. Shoemaker in first, Z. Pringle in second, Nicoyan, B. Nicoyan in third, J. Kangas 20, J. Kangas in fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Trout Slayer 76, L. Trout in 5th place. If you use the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake picks, you're sitting with a 78.2 meter, up from a 64.1%. Bad start in Drain the Lake, but we are trending upwards. Our top-ranked player for the Keystone Crew Drain the Lake Challenge group for the third event at the Tennessee River was Wanda 1992 W. Pyle with a score of 2,751. We've also been in touch since the tournament was just about a month ago, and the prizes have gone out to the winners. Shouldn't say a month ago. It's really only been a couple weeks. Now that all the housekeeping stuff, let's switch gears to the next event. The 4th event for fantasy fishing and the 3rd stop on the Bassmaster Elite Series. It takes us to the Tennessee Tombigbee Waterway in Columbus, Mississippi from March 26th through the 29th, 2026. The Tennessee Tombigbee Waterway, often referred to as the Tenn-Tom, is a 234-mile canal that connects the Tennessee River to the Tombigbee River. It was completed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in 1984. The waterway begins with a 175-foot deep divide coming out of Yellow Creek on Pickwick Lake, which is a Tennessee River reservoir. It includes 10 locks and dams separating major pools. Most of the waterway has a standard channel depth of 9 feet to 12 feet for barge navigation. Not a whole lot of history here to share as far as the Elite Series tournaments go, so kind of going into this blind with some of the picks. New this year, as you guys know, some events are forward-facing sonar, some are not. This is a no forward-facing sonar event. And that may influence some of your picks, but it is a very a shallow water fishery, so I'm not so sure the scope would play as much as it usually would anyway. All right, now that the history lesson's over, let's jump into the picks. First, with our research picks, I power rank the picks from Bass Pundits, different articles I read, videos I watch, and past history. Remember though, this year I'm doing things a little differently. I'm picking one of the top 5 and not necessarily the top angler based on the research, because I don't always agree with it. And this year, you know, my picks have been terrible, but the research has been terrible too. So I don't know what to tell you guys there. In bucket A, we have Brock Mosley with 14.5%. Trey McKinney, 33.8%. Easton Fothergill, 5.9%. Drew Cook, 8.4%. Kyle Welcher, 15%. But I'm going with Trey McKinney for my pick, even though the recommended pick here is Brock Mosley. He's our top-ranked angler. In bucket B, our top-ranked angler is Wes Logan with 11%. Followed by Hunter Shryock, 5.7%. Koya Fujita, 3%. Patrick Walters, 20.2%. And finally, Brandon Lester, 16.9%. Wes Logan is the top-ranked angler based on the research, but I'm going with Patrick Walters for my account. On to bucket C. Top-ranked angler in bucket C, we have Justin Atkins, 21.8% owned, followed by Chris Johnston, 22.9% owned, Brian Schmidt, 5.4% owned, Caleb Koopfall, 2% owned, and Brandon Card, 1.7% owned. Top-ranked angler here is Justin Atkins, but I'm going with Chris Johnston for my personal account. I need to make some moves. So I can't always go with the research. Bucket D. Our top-ranked angler is Greg Hackney, 16.2% owned, followed by Will Davis Jr., 10.9% owned, Wesley Gore, 7.9% owned, Lee Livesey, 17.8% owned, and John Cruz, 1.3% owned. Greg Hackney is the top-ranked angler based on the research, but I'm going with John Cruz for my personal account. And our final bucket, Bucket E. Our top-ranked angler is Pat Schlapper, 6.5% owned, followed by Bill Lowen, 6.7% owned, John Cox, 22.5% owned, Jason Christie, 13.1% owned, and our last ranked angler, Russ Lane, 5.4% owned. Pat Schlapper is the top-ranked angler, but I'm going with Jason Christie for my personal account. As far as a tie-breaking weight goes, I think that it is going to be, lighter bags for this tournament. I've been reading that it could be taking 10 to 12 pounds a day, should do it. Crack the top 10 with that. So I'm going with 48 pounds, 9 ounces for my total for the tie-breaking weight. And a quick recap, here's a look at our top-ranked angler in each bucket if you plan on going that route. And here's a quick look at the anglers I'm picking from the power rankings and using on my account. On to Falcon Rod's Drain the Lake Challenge. Our other main fantasy game, Drain the Lake, is an elimination or survivor-style game where you can only use the angler once all season. Once you use them, they're gone for the season. You'll use around 80 out of the 100-plus anglers from the season. So pick wisely. I've got Drew Benton, John Cox, Greg Hackney, Bill Lowen, Brock Mosley, Cliff Pace, Pat Schlapper, and Hunter Shryock. Our other and final fantasy fishing game is TH Marine Bassmaster Pick'em Challenge. This one's for fun, no prizes, but it is surprisingly difficult to pick. I am doing better this year than in past years, though, so I'm excited for that. Matchup 1, we have top 2 in AOY, Corey Johnston versus Trey McKinney. I love the Johnston brothers, but I'm going with Trey McKinney. Matchup 2, Mississippi natives, Brock Mosley versus Justin Atkins. I'm going with Brock Mosley since he was our top-ranked angler in Bucket A. Matchup 3, top performers from 2024 Open. We've got Russ Lane versus Tristan McCormick. I'm going with Russ Lane. Matchup 4, River Rats, Bill Lowen versus Bo Browning. I'm going with Bill Lowen. I know he'll be flipping that, jig there. Matchup 5, we've got Swim Jig Showdown, Wes Logan versus Stephen Kennedy. I'm taking Wes Logan here. Matchup 6, Skinny Water Standoff, John Cox versus Greg Hackney. This one was a tough one, but I'm going with John Cox. And matchup 7, Classic Momentum. Let's see, we've got Easton Fothergill versus JT Tompkins. I'm going with Easton Fothergill. That'll wrap it up for our fantasy fishing games for the 4th event of the 2026 season, the 3rd stop for the Bassmaster Elite Series at the Tenn-Tom Waterway. Good luck to all you guys out there. We'll be back in a few weeks with our picks for the Arkansas River. But in the meantime, I'll leave you with the angler's career stats from before the 2026 season. As always, I'll catch you next time.